Good morning, my dear children. Today we are going to study Political Science Chapter 1 on Equality. Before going this chapter, you should know about what is democracy. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. There are two types of democracy. One is a direct democracy. It is a type of democracy where the people govern directly. Another one is a representative democracy, is an indirect democracy where sovereignty is earned by the people representatives. In this chapter, you will read more about equality. That is, what is equality, why it is important in a democracy, and whether or not everyone is equal in India. Let's begin by looking at Kanta's story. Look at this picture. You can see the group of people standing in a line for casting their vote. We can also see the names of the people who were standing there. That is, Manjit Kaur was a teacher, Teja Singh, trader, Girish Rao, a student, Kantha Devi, domestic worker. So, on the election day, we can see all categories of people standing in a same line and ready to cast their vote. But going on as the day goes ahead, Kandas gets a doubt about her understanding what is equality. It is really equal because when it is came to voting, there were options to stand equally and vote. But when it comes to day work, or we actually following equality? There is doubt what she expresses as a day progresses. Look at this picture conversation. I will vote for the candidate who has promised to bring by water to our area. This is what Kantas expresses. We will see there is the reply. What she get afterwards. She says, Gudia has been running fever and I have to take her to hospital. But I will have to finish the work at the Syed's house. First I will ask for some advance of money because the child is not feeling well. He need to be taken to hospital. It's no wonder was Gudia Falls Hills often why because the area where they stay never clean, it's mostly dirty. So obviously there are chances of children to unhealthy. So after looking at the both case studies, we understand the Kanta is having political equality. There is a right to vote. But economic equality it's not there. Now right to equality or equal to vote. Let us focus on this point first. The story about begins with Kanta standing in a line to cast her vote. Look again at the various people who were standing in line with Kantas recognizes her employer Ashok Jain and Chota Lal her neighbor. In a democratic country like India, all adults, irrespective of what religion they belong to, how much education they have had, what caste they are, whether they are rich or poor, or allowed to vote. That is the main feature of the democratic countries. All Indians above the age of 18, irrespective of the religion, caste, education, language, poverty, are allowed to vote. This is known as universal adult franchise. And it is based on the idea of equality. Next, key elements of democratic government. There are three key elements of democratic government. One is people's participation, resolution of conflict, equality and justice for all. Of these three, equality has the great influence on how democratic governments work. Okay. Other kinds of equality and inequalities. Kantha is one of many people who live in democratic India and who have the right to vote, but whose daily living and working conditions are far from equal. Apart from being poor, people in India experience inequality in different ways. Now let us hear a story about the experience of a Dalit child attending school. Before you hear this story, you should know about what is meant by Dalit. Dalit is a term that the so-called lower caste used to address themselves. Dalit means broken, and by using this word, lower caste or pointing to how they were and continue to be seriously discriminated against. Look at this picture. Om Prakash Valmiki is a famous Dalit writer. Om Prakash belonged to the Dalit caste. He was treated very badly in school. He was not given the rights other boys of upper caste enjoyed. He was made to sit on the floor when others sat on a mat. He was made to sweep the school and the playground when other boys were studying in the classroom. He was not even allowed to get a drink of water. He swept the whole day from the doors and windows of the schoolrooms. The eyes of the teachers and the boys are these spectacles. Om Prakash was made to sweep the school and playground next couple of days, and this only came to an end when his father, who happened to be passing by, he saw his son sweeping. He confronted the teachers and then walking away from the school holding Om Prakash's hand. In spite of all these insults and difference shown to be, Om Prakash became a famous writer. He has written about his experiences as Dalits in its autobiography, Judal. The second story is based on an incident that took place in one of India's largest city and is common practice in most part of the country. It is a story about Mr. and Mrs. Ansari were looking to rent an apartment in the city. They had the money and so paying the rent was no problem. They went to a property dealer for help to find the place. The dealer informed them that he knew about quite few apartments that were available for rent. They visited the first apartment and the Ansari liked it very much and decided to take it. However, when the landlady found out their names, she made an excuse about how she could not rent the house to someone who ate meat because the building did not have any non-vegetarian residents. The same excuse was repeated in the second and the third apartments. Finally, the property dealer told them that they might want to change their names and call themselves Mr. and Mrs. Kumar. The Ansaris were reluctant to do this and decided to look see more. In the end, it took a whole month of looking get apartments before they found a landlady who was willing to give them a place on rent. Okay. Then next, right to equality. Right to equality is one of our fundamental rights and it is provided for in Articles 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 of the Indian Constitution. In this session, we have learned about concept of right to vote, universal adult franchise, key features of democratic country. Every individual in a democratic country like India, irrespective of their caste, color, creed, religion and vote. Each vote will have same value. This makes Kanta will very happy in the morning and feel is equal to all the others. As the day progresses, she becomes little bit uncertain about the concept of equality. Okay, the rest of the chapter will continue in next class. Thank you.